Elvis Presley and his vehicles. Part 17. The two BMW Isettas. On March 25, 1957, Elvis purchased Graceland. He had been living in a house on Audubon Drive for a year, but as his fame skyrocketed he needed a more secluded home for him and his family. In late April 1957, Elvis took the train to Los Angeles. He was going to start working on his third movie, Jailhouse Rock. It was completed on June 14. During the time in L.A., he had the 1957 Cadillac Seville shipped there, like he did during the production of Loving You. Sometime in May 1957, when Elvis was out driving the Seville, he spotted the odd conveyance in a show window at an import dealer. The car which caught his attention was a little BMW Isetta 300. Elvis just went in, bought the car and drove away. It was strictly a spur-of-the-moment deal. BMW was on the brink of bankruptcy in the mid-1950s. Motorcycle production was declining. Luxury vehicles like the 503 and the 507 were so expensive to produce that they suffered losses on these models. BMW needed a new model, one that would not require a lot of development costs. They found its solution at the 1954 Touring Car Show, the Isetta. The Isetta was a microcar, a bubble car with a huge door in the front. BMW acquired the licensing rights for the Isetta and made the microcar its own. They redesigned the power plant around a BMW 1-cylinder, 4-stroke, 247cc motorcycle engine which generated 12 horsepower. BMW also added another tire, so that the German car had 4 tires compared to the Iso's 3. The car was very fuel efficient and therefore was a big hit in Europe. More than 160,000 Isettas were produced between 1955 and 1962. A couple of thousand of those were exported to the U.S. Elvis drove the BMW Isetta a couple of times while in Hollywood, before having it transported back to Memphis. In this photo from the middle of June 1957, Scotty Moore is photographed behind the 1954 Cadillac limo towing a trailer with the Isetta back to Memphis. Elvis' 1957 BMW Isetta has always said to be white, but it wasn't. It was painted sky blue. The correct name of the color was hellblau, or as it was named in the U.S., light blue. It was equipped with all the extras including a luggage carrier and a heater. These two photos are the only known pictures of Elvis in his 1957 BMW Isetta 300. They were shot in the late summer of 1957 at Graceland. August 1957. Postman Jimmy Burns was one of very few people who were allowed to drive through the gates at Graceland. Each morning at 10:30 he delivered the mail to Elvis. A massive 500 to 600 letters a day were dropped off, mostly from fans. In this photo from the backyard of Graceland, we can see Elvis' pink 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood and light blue 1957 BMW Isetta. Elvis drove the 1957 BMW Isetta for just 120 miles before trading it. That's probably why there isn't more photos of him in the car. Elvis kept it until December 20, 1957, when he traded it in at Worldwide Auto in Memphis for a red 1958 BMW Isetta 300. The 1958 Isetta was going to be a Christmas present for his manager Colonel Tom Parker. On December 21 Elvis towed the Isetta to Nashville and gifted it to his manager, where these photos were shot. Colonel Parker's 1958 BMW Isetta wasn't the last Isetta Elvis bumped into though. Elvis was stationed in Germany from late 1958 through early 1960. On December 21, 1958, Elvis bought himself a Christmas present. He went to the BMW dealer Autohaus Wirth in Frankfurt and got a slightly used 1958 BMW 507. At that event he was photographed trying out a 1959 BMW Isetta. That car certainly reminded him of the 1957 Isetta he had owned, and the 1958 Isetta he had bought for his manager Tom Parker. Unfortunately there is no information about what happened to Elvis' 1957 BMW Isetta 300 after he traded it in at Worldwide Auto in Memphis. The new owner definitely knew it was Elvis' car though, since it was advertised as being owned by him. Elvis' old Isetta was priced at $1,098 whereas Elvis had bought it for $1,300. Whatever happened to Colonel Parker's 1958 Isetta is also unknown. Since we don't know the VIN of the cars, it's not easy to track them down. However, I'm sure Elvis Presley Enterprises has the info in their archives. And that is it, on this subject. Thanks so much for watching and please subscribe for more episodes about Elvis Cars.